Hello, and in today's video, I am going to be redrawing some old art. I think I've redrawn this on my channel before in like a cluster redraw. I wanted to do it again because I don't remember how I redrew it the first time, and you know what? Why not? Thanksgiving has been a wonderful holiday. That's a joke, that's a lie. I've been incredibly busy. I work in a retail store where Thanksgiving just goes crazy and Christmas, but Thanksgiving is worse. So I've been like working, and I feel like I've been working and then crying about work after work. So I wanted to do something like simple and easy and I could just relax while doing. I also did a complete this video in about 24 hours challenge because I started the sketch at about last night, and it's now 3 a.m. on Saturday. If you're watching this on Saturday, this is pretty typical of me to be so late, but not this late. Usually I record on like a Monday or Tuesday and I put off editing until Friday. But this was pretty bad. But for the character, this is I wouldn't call this Starla my OC Starla just yet. I played around with a lot of pink-haired characters with green eyes during this time, or I had a few. But Starla was the big one that really stayed, and then this one kind of just never really turned into much. I always have a fun time. I think the last time I redrew this, I turned her into like a wood elf, or like an elf of some, or pointy ears of some kind. So I kept that. I also just like drawing pointed ears more. It's more fun for me. I kept the outfit the same, the skin tone the same, the hair the same. I actually posted this on Blue Sky and Kara, and I got like I got one more new follower on Blue Sky. I'm not sure about Kara though, I have to look. But if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, you should make a Blue Sky account first of all. I love it on there. As somebody who's addicted to TikTok, I'm trying to use Blue Sky more and use my brain to read. So much fun. I love seeing everybody's like pets and stuff and art. That's all my Blue Sky is. It's great. It's so like, it's just so beautiful and not toxic at all. It's like gold. And in Kara is it just gold too? It's just art. It's just great. Anyway, sorry not to advertise for people who I obviously am not sponsored for, because I don't have enough views or followers or any of that stuff to do that. And people really liked it, so I kept going with it. I had a problem with the pose, as you can see, so I did find a 3D model of a pose I wanted to use, because I haven't drawn a full body in a really long time. I am actually thinking my next video is going to be me doing like anatomy studies, possibly. I might crack out my traditional sketchbook to do that, because I haven't done that in so long, and figure out a decent recording setup with my phone camera. And maybe I can do that. I just have to record on my floor, because my desk is bad and my floor is less bad looking than my desk. And the only thing is I have to lock up my ferrets, because my ferrets will ruin the camera setup, and they will not know what's going on or what I'm doing and try to be in my business. If I'm on the floor, I usually have to do that. If they're on the floor, or if they're trying to climb on my desk. But yeah, for this, the pose, I wanted to give a different vibe than the other one. The other one's kind of like happy. I wanted this like warm and cozy, but also like sad vibe. I also wanted to lock in on the smoke, because the smoke in the old one, that's like about, I think it's 5 years old now ish. I wanted to lock in. Actually, no, that's 6 years old. I take that back. It's 6 years old. I wanted to lock in on the way the smoke looked, and I wanted it to be billowing out of the cup like it's boiling hot. I thought it was coffee. Turns out it was supposed to be tea. When I looked at the original file, it was called Tea Girl. So yeah, I guess she also changed her drink preference, because I named this current file I have Coffee Girl. Yeah, this for the character design. This was like a very early iteration of Starla, but not really. It was just I like Starla. Characters with pink hair are pretty rad, and then I made another character with pink hair and green eyes. I changed the eye color slightly to a gray green with like hints of yellow and blue to give more hazily effect. more like a clear, translucent effect that I really liked. For my normal rendering style, I think I'm gonna pop out a tutorial eventually on how I do it, because it's just, you have to have some sort of understanding of the forms of the face, and I'm not very great at explaining it. I just know it from guessing and like guessing shapes for like years and years and years. That's why I know how to like shade and run. I just ballpark it, and it's okay. But what I usually do is I put down the black, because having a dark base kind of helps me blend everything, along with the fact that I like using black line art, and it helps blend it with the black line art, so the black line art looks blended out when you do it. This is something I figured out. I was trying to recreate a old creepypasta fan art that I did, and I remembered the technique I think I used. I figured out a technique I wanted to use for it to be desaturated and be like dark, and I just put black and I painted over it with my blendy brush that I use, and it worked. So I've been doing that, and I ended up realizing I can do it with lighter colors, and I ended up fully moving to that kind of painting because I love it so much. I can do all of my painting basically on 3 layers, which saves my computer and my sanity a lot of time. Before this, what I do is I put down the black, and then I make my line art color slightly lighter, and then I fill in all my shadows, my shadow colors. So as you can see, the painting I'm doing, the hair and the skin and the pants and the socks and the mug, which the mug changes colors several times, is a lot darker than my little reference picture. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to color pick from my little reference picture, and I'm going to re-put in that neutral and that highlight and that darker shadow. That technique does not work on this super basically gray, pale gray skin color, and I didn't realize that. But you're going to see me completely color over the skin after I almost color it through, because I looked at the rendering in the face and the actual skin color, and I was like, this doesn't look like how I want it to. Why does it look like somebody who got smudged with acrylic paint? Actually, no, poorly mixed acrylic paint. To me, it looked like somebody who poorly smudged acrylic paint, and I couldn't do it. It gave me war flashbacks to high school when I was trying to learn how to use acrylic paint, and it failed miserably, so I had to undo it, because it wasn't because I was going for an elf vibe, but I wasn't going for super unnatural elf vibes, and it felt like it was leaning towards, it was too pale and it's like that color between yellow and orange, but like the brown version of it, and it was too much of that color and not enough of, because there's obviously yellowy skin tones that exist, there's obviously orangey skin tones that exist, there's reddish skin tones that exist, but it was too much in that direction. It was too pale at the same time, and it had no real warmth behind it, because I like to add some sort of warmth, because even if you have a cooler undertone, you still have blood, vessels, you still breathe and have oxygen, so you still have warmness to you, and there felt like there was no real warmth with this first time around. Like, there was no blood, or this person wasn't alive. Actually, that's the best way I can describe it. It felt like I was painting somebody whose skin looked like they had recently deceased. That's what it looked like to me. I painted over it with the skin tone I was originally using, which was that super pale color, which isn't exactly a non-deceased color either. I cannot believe I used that as my normal skin tone for all of my characters. Looking back, it was 8th grade, 9th grade. Well, 8th grade or in 9th grade, Niwa had that skin color had a death grip on me, man. Because I was at the time, I did do a video paying homage to this, but the way I learned how to draw were mainly before art tutorials was Nightcore videos. I'd look at Nightcore videos and I would draw the Nightcore girl in the Nightcore video, which for a while permanently affected my art. It's still does, because I still lean towards that sort of cute girl or cute skinny girl when I am just freely drawing, because that's what I learned off of. It's my comfort zone, which there's nothing wrong as an artist having a comfort zone, but it's also about leaving it. But I also drew a lot of really pale people, like inhumanly pale, like photoshopped pale, like vampire pale, like white paint pale, and didn't always, it was diversify, like even among like pale skin tones, it's not just that paper. There's like pale with like more red, and there's like between pale and tan, there's actual like browns, and there's super dark skin tones. There's a whole beautiful rainbow. I know how to render it all now, but back then I didn't. I think I knew how to do it, I just never, it's just I was stuck in that like, I was like stuck. Yeah, but once I started diversifying things and looking at other tutorials, that's why I say that's not the only thing that taught me how to draw. I also learned how to draw a lot from watching Lavender Town videos. But in Lavender Town's Lavender Town is really diverse in her like character stuff and like drawing character designs for things. That's a different tangent. But that's why a lot of my old art is just anime girls. That's also why my art style leans more towards that. One, that's my preference. And two, I just have a lot more fun like drawing in a less of a Western style and more of an Eastern style. There are still things that like are like Eastern to my, I think not Eastern, Western. It's how I draw things and in certain ways, but I much more take inspiration from East Asian like artists and media. Other Arcane is because aren't the animators the animation company? I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm not gonna say that they're East Asian because I might be wrong, but I think that's where the company's in East Asia. I might be wrong. It might be from anywhere, but like I said, I might be completely wrong. I just think that off the top of my head. For a long time, it's been like where my like inspiration comes from, like that, the art. I just really like the anime art style. There's something about the eyes and like the noses, like how diverse people, because it can be very diverse, and the like stories. Like I have been for the past 3 years, I have been on this Studio Ghibli like train. I've watched all the movies I can watch. I can consume all of the media I could ever consume. I have so much Studio Ghibli merchandise. I don't need any more, but I want more. I want my house to be a shrine to my neighbor Totoro. So that's also a very big inspiration. But back then I didn't really know about that. Or I did know about Studio Ghibli, but I didn't care about it as much. And I feel like Studio Ghibli has touched my art now, and it's never gonna be undone. Like even now, it's not really in there. Like when I look at it, I see more, not because it's a little bit edgy, but like the way I like how much I love whimsy stuff now, more fantasy stuff than what I used to like, which was more modern. It's crazy of how that like progressed. Another thing, I forgot that I could make random shapes in the background, and I learned, I think, in my last video or the video before that I could use random shapes behind my character designs. So I have a random shape going from sunrise to sunset, if that wasn't apparent. I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the video. But yeah, if you guys like my art, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I should probably finish editing this, and go to sleep. If you guys really like this video, please like and subscribe, share, comment, do all that fun stuff. I really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try to upload my Doki Doki Literature Club one mid-December, my big redraw that I do every year. I have the sketch. I just need to start rendering it and doing the line art and filling in the flat colors, and it should be ready. So that will take me maybe another week if I'm working on 2 videos at the same time, 2 weeks. So by then, we should be golden. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.